So welcome back, fellow gardeners. Here I am in the middle of a bush again, and I want to talk about this plant. This is my cranberry hibiscus. It's part of the hibiscus family, but I'm going to talk to you more about this plant because first of all, I would like to propagate it and show you how you can have this plant also in your garden. My name is Alice and I'm the Redsoil Gardener. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this plant here is known as the cranberry hibiscus. It is a species of the normal hibiscus plant. Now, the thing is that with the cranberry hibiscus is that there is another one called the Rosella or the Rosella hibiscus. Now, this is the one that everyone, that you do grow it to make jams, to make tea, and the leaves are totally different. With this cranberry hibiscus, we have these lovely burgundy leaves, and look at that flower, isn't it so beautiful? And the flower only lasts one day and then it shrivels up. The thing about now the Roselle or the Rosella hibiscus, which you use for tea and to make tea and jam, is that the leaves are light green. So that's the difference. The cranberry has the burgundy, whereas the Rosella hibiscus has green leaves. Now, the thing about this is that even though you can't make your jams, is that you can still dry out the flower once the flower is spent, and you can make your tea. It is very medicinal. And second thing is that with these leaves is that you can actually add it in your salad and you can actually just munch it like that, which I find fascinating. So with this plant is that first of all, it does originate in Africa and has spread around the continents. With the Rosella plant is the other name for it is the Jamaican sorrel. And the sorrel comes from the sour taste that sorrel has. So something to learn. Now, the thing about this lovely plant is that if you notice, it has all these buds at the nodes. Now, the beautiful thing about it is that, as we've seen earlier, is that they do give you so many blossoms. And so for myself, what I do is that I use it more as an ornamental plant. So for the foliage, because basically with this foliage is that you have this contrast of this lovely burgundy against your green foliage. And also another thing you can do is actually even just grow it as a hedge. And then as the hedge has matured, you'll get all these sprinkle of these beautiful, beautiful flowers, and it just makes it more dramatic. Now, there's different ways that you can propagate this plant. I've taken a cutting. Now, what I find for myself is that cuttings, actually doing a stem cutting is much faster. Now, the thing also about this plant, as you see, it has many buds. It does self-seed. So as you plant it and the flowers go into seed production, they will sprinkle their seeds around the main plant. And you can use that and actually propagate it, get the little seedlings, grow it and nurture it until it becomes a full plant. Now, the other way to do it is that I normally do a soil propagation as I done here. Now, what I did with this particular plant, all I did is, as we know, is you get your stem, and I'm going to just cut it into two, just there. So this could be my first stem. I will remove all those foliage from the node, just like that, and just leave those for photosynthesis. And then what I would do is get your soil like that, just make it moist, not soggy, let it drain through, There we go. So it's just nice and moist and it's not soggy, it's draining through. And I make sure that my node, this one here, and just submerge the whole node in the soil like that. And we can do a similar one with this one. Those are my lovely leaves. I'll make those leaves for salad. I'm just going to cut again, remove these little leaves here and that leaf there. I will leave those ones for photosynthesis. And again, here I have two nodes, one here and one here. And all I'll simply do is just submerge both of them in the soil. So that is my soil propagation, similar to what I did here, as the actual propagation was up to here, and basically it's all grown. And this plant is maybe about 2 months old, and it just keeps flowering, which I should just replant it soon. But that is a soil propagation. So that is one method. Now I did the other day, as I panicked, and I thought, let me try a water propagation because I hadn't I hadn't prepared it. Now this is about 10 days old. So what I did is I just took my stem and put it in water. And that is a 10-day growth from my cranberry hibiscus. And look at those rooting, fantastic, 10 days, just dip in water. So what I would do now is actually let it get fuller. And then once I'm ready, I'm just going to take it again and stick it in the soil and let it grow in the soil. But what a beautiful plant. Look at that. I love those flowers. I'm so fascinated by it. Let's look at the light requirement for our cranberry hibiscus. Basically, they do really well in full light, full sun. However, you can put them in partial shade, but the only thing is that when you do put them in partial shade, you may get them growing a bit lanky. So what happens is that once they do go lanky, the area from the internode, this stretch of the plant may be a bit higher. But basically is that if it does go lanky, just prune it, and it does really well with pruning, because once you prune it, it will get bushier and produce you more flowers. So I'm never really worried whether it's in partial shade and grows lanky. I just prune it down and you will get it bushier. So let's look at the soil. Actually, all you need is a well-drained soil, but actually it is not that fussy about soil. For as long as the drainage is good, it can grow as I have at the back. It has a clay soil, but I did put a bit of compost in it, but it's actually done really well. I wouldn't bother too much about it because it is quite a sturdy plant. Let's look at the water requirement. Basically is I actually try to ensure that I do give it a lot of water. The soil should be moist because the leaves are very flimsy and they're very delicate. Now what happens is that if you do actually let it dry out, you could actually lose the leaves prematurely. So basically just keep it moist so you have more foliage and your leaves are happy. If you live in the northern hemisphere and you do have this plant, I would actually, if your winters do get really cool, try grow them in a container which you can actually bring it in, because they're not really frost tolerant. However, if you do have them outside, what will happen is that after fall, because they do flower from spring up to fall, is you can either cut it back and then let it mulch it and keep it insulated. And then as soon as spring comes up, it will shoot up. Otherwise, if it is too cold, if you have it in a container, do bring it in and do realize that the plant will go into a dormant stage where it will require less water. So fellow gardeners, there you are. I hope you do go and get yourself a cranberry hibiscus. You could try to eat the leaves and also try to make the tea. There's a lot of channels which show you how to do it. And for myself, I'm just going to plant these in my garden. I love the color and I'll always be able to get my blooms. So don't forget to like and share and press that notification button. Also subscribe to our channel and get your family involved, get your friends, recommend the channel, because we do have a lot of fun on this channel. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, I am on YouTube Comment. Do send your comments, and if there's a problem, do send me a report and I can always try to guide you in how to improve your plant. So fellow gardeners, thank you so much and have a lovely, lovely day and happy gardening.